Good afternoon, welcome to Made by Janat. It's Anna here. I am here with the flip through of the Bird Journal Challenge book. So, what's the Bird Journal Challenge? There's an entire playlist here. It was me and Carol at the YouTube channel Friendly Quail. We did a challenge where we had to include certain prompts in our journals. We both made bird journals in our own styles, but we included certain things, and I will name these as I go past them. So this is a journal that I made. It is made from a vintage book that was published in 1911 originally, and it has 9 signatures, 216 pages. And let's measure it to start. Let's see. She is 6 by 8 inches, or 8.25. And the spine is 1.5 inch. As you can see, I haven't done much to the cover. I have just cleaned it up a bit, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. The spine is also very nice condition. On the back it was very plain, so I just added a few little labels here. This is a Tim Holtz transparency, and that is a label. So it has a hidden hollow back spine, as you can see, sewn in with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, 9 signatures, I think I said that, and 216 pages. Yes, so let's start. The end papers are from a book, a huge book, John Gold paintings, and they are different front and back, but I really love those images. This is the original first page, and it says 1911 there, and a little fussy cut I just added for some interest. There's lots of bird images in here, so if you don't like birds, this is not the book for you. The journal. This is from a bird book, of course. And on this side here is a little double pocket. In the back pocket there is a journaling card, and I made this in my Use It or Lose It video a couple of weeks ago. And in this pocket there's a bit of vellum there. That's a little tag. That's a Tim Holtz tag that I added a little bird to. Let's see if I can get it into the correct pocket here. There it is. We have some tea-dyed paper. This is from a book about British birds from 1954. I have some ledger, and I cannot make a bird journal without having some Edith Holden in it. And I didn't want to cut this down, so I just folded it in, and you can cut it off, make it into pockets, extend the flips, do whatever you like. There are some lovely eggs as well. More of the ledger and the British birds, and the tea-dyed paper, and the rest of the bird book. Here is our first flip. This is a image from a book, a nature diary, with paintings from a Dutch artist called Marjolein Bastin, and she draws lovely birds. And there's even more on the back there, a small bird. And I have just put white gesso on the text from the original text block, so you can journal all over that, or collage, or do whatever you want. And to attach it, I have just used my edge punch, and then I have folded it over. I think that looks quite cute. On this tea-dyed page I have just put a little butterfly, and that is a rub-on. We have more pages from the original text block, and here is a little flip out with bird on, and on this side it is a pocket, and inside it is one Stamperia journal card and one little collage journal card that I made, the bird, and some stamping and some rub-ons. And this is a calendar from 1911, which was the year that the book was originally published, and you can journal on the back of that. And on this page of ledger, it is extended a little bit, it flips out, and there's a small sticker here with a little bird nest and some eggs. This is also from that same book that the end papers are from. I love the images, really cute. And this is from the original text block. In the center here is a folio from, I'm looking for a date. It is a book about, it's from Nature History of Selborne or something like that. And I thought that little long-legged, long-beaked bird was cute. Here's a little flip out with a little journaling card, and that, not a journaling card, a playing card or a tarot card. And here is a finch and a peach, and I love that tarot deck. I found it thrifting, and that's just attached with some piece of linen, and I glued that down. Some starlings, and on this side of the ledger here is another flip, but I have actually attached a whole folio from a bird book, and I have covered this page in a piece of an old end paper, a fly leaf, and you can have some hidden journaling inside. And there's a little tab there. More pages from the original text block with a flamingo, and on this page, this side, I made some texture paste with a doily inspired thing. And more tea-dyed paper. Here is a little collage I made, a piece of the original spine and a little label and some, I believe this is Tim Holtz. It has those fabric thingies. And here I once again gessoed over the text so you can journal on this flip. And here is a little tiny bird head peeking out, and a tab, and this is just attached with some sari silk that I have sewn onto this book page with a, once again, a fly leaf behind. And this is from a children's reader, and I watercolored in these birds, and watercolor is one of the prompts that we had to use, so I did that. And texture paste that I had over here is also a prompt. So I like how that turned out. This is just a small page from bird book, some offcut, more tea-dyed paper, and this is from a small 1945 book about birds, British birds, I think. More ledger, and here is a flip, and that has a tab made out of two vintage German stamps. They are genuine stamps. Here in the center we have more Edith Holden, and on this side also flips out the ledger, and I did a small collage with a piece of a bird book, some vintage wallpaper, and that is watercolor swatches I did on some onion skin paper. I love using varying sizes of pages. It makes it a lot more interesting to look at, a bit more tactile. More tea-dyed paper. There's so much journaling space in this book, even though it's jam-packed full of bird stuff. Here I have covered a book page with vintage writing paper. It's really vintage, you can see at the color. And this side as well. Here is a piece, this page is from the original text block, and this is a little tag-shaped tuck. And inside it is a vintage postcard, actually from 1948, that I have prettied up a bit with some fussy cut and stamp and label. Really cute, if you ask me. Love that bird. And if you just flip that over, this side is also tag shaped, but it is a hidden journaling spot. And that thread there is vintage, and it's from another book, and it was used to tie something together. I believe it was a book of telegrams or something, and I kept the thread, of course. More tea-dyed paper. Here is another flip. Once again, I have glued it down, but I have sewn the sari silk onto the flip itself. And this is one of the index card dividers, and this one says B for bird or blue. And a piece of it is holding down here. That is a pocket with these lovely sparrows inside. You can journal on the back. And up here is a bird as well. And that flips out, and there is the original text page under there. And here's a heron. This is a piece of a vintage ledger from the early 1900s, I believe, 1923. And here is more of the Marjolaine Bastin. Love her drawings. And here you can journal. Little daffodils down there. This is vintage notebook paper. Here is a small pocket with a little egg on it and a round tag that I made in a Use It or Lose It a few months ago, I think. It goes in there, and in the center are those lovely birds. And here, this one flips down so you can see the entire of the birds. Love the colors here. More writing paper, more of the nature diary, Marjolaine Bastin. Little birds everywhere, and I think they're so darn cute. Sitting there on the line that is a thread or a wire or something. I love her style of journaling or drawing. More of the ledger. And here is a belly band, and this is a lace with two birds on it. I think it's so cute. It came off a vintage children's pillowcase, and inside of it are two things. One is this journaling card that I made. You can journal on the back. This is a collaged one. I did it in a Use It to Lose It. And this is a small booklet that I also made in another Use It or Lose It, and this is made out of a vintage paper book page, and inside it are some different writable papers like tea-dyed or so. I think it's really, really nice, and there's some vintage lace there as well, and some watercolor swatches. Just gonna put that back in there. More tea-dyed paper. Here is a feather, and that's another thing that was a part of the challenge to use. And this is a fabric that flips up, and underneath is a waterfall paper pack so that you can journal. Some hidden journaling. And that is sewn on. some more tea-dyed paper. And this is a folio from the original text block, the color illustrations. And you can journal on the back. Here we have some ledger, and that is a flip, but this is also a flip. So you have some extra hidden journaling underneath this lovely piece of paper, and you can journal over here as well. Here we have a vintage letter with a stamp with an owl on, and lovely handwriting here. And inside is another one of those vintage postcards that I have printed up. Here is a piece of dictionary behind. There's the bird, stamp, a few labels. Really love this as well. And I also made these in a use it or lose it. This is the rest of the original illustration from the original. No, this is not. This is from a 1871 book about hunting, actually. And there's a heron as well. And it's a bird of prey. I can't remember which one it says. Ormvråk in Swedish. And here is the back of the envelope. I have covered it with some wrapping paper that I think is really pretty. More of the ledger with a flip, and the flip has a little tab, and this tab is a genuine wax seal that my daughter did. It's a little bird reading on a pile of books, and I thought that was quite suitable. Here is the back of, this is from the original text block, the color illustration. It's a falcon, a pilgrim's falcon. And more tea-dyed. Here is another flip. And this image comes from a vintage Ideals magazine. And this is just washi tape down. And on the back I have covered it with some writing paper so that you can journal there. And wherever I have used washi tape, I have reinforced it with some glue before. So you can trust the glue, the stickiness of it. On this tea-dye paper I have done a bit of decoupaging, and this is Tim Holtz collage paper. And decoupage was another one of the prompts that we had to use in our challenge. Here we have a little penguin, or a big penguin, because it's a king penguin. And on this side there's a vintage stamp, and that one is from, let's see if I can see it, also Germany. And here is a small pocket. I have sewn 2 pages together from a small book about birds, and inside is a shaker card, my very first ever shaker card. And this is, if you want to know how I made this, it's actually videotaped on the channel. And there is another one of the Marjolaine Bustan images, and inside the shaker there's different seeds, so that the bird has something to eat. And it says also, I think this is so funny, shake well before using. I love that. And this is a Tim Holtz frame actually that I used. And so shake well, and I put it back here. There we go. More ledger, and here is more fabric, and that is a hummingbird on this one. And here is some music paper, and I have mended it with some faux vintage cellophane tape. And this one flips, and as you can see, here is a book about eggs, bird eggs, and that one is washi taped in, so you can cover this with paper and do some hidden journaling or hidden collaging. I think that was quite fun. In the center here is another lovely page from a bird book, and I have covered the text with tea-dyed onion skin paper so that you can journal all over it. and that book is from 1969. Love those cute little owls there. Here is another flip, and on the back side here is the rest of the fabric with a hummingbird, and I have sewn on some lace here and I made it into a pocket. And here is a lovely journaling card. And that's covered with some vintage fly leaf as well, fly leaf paper. I always save those, really nice to have. This is another of the or a few of the prompts, because this bag I made on camera, and that's made out of paper that I put beeswax on. And beeswax was one of the prompts. And I did a bit of collage. Here are leaves and a bird, and that's Tim Holtz die cuts, and die cuts was another one of the prompts, and also leaves. And inside here is, as you can see, another feather, and this one is a genuine one. It has been cleaned, so you don't have to worry about any germs. Inside is also a tag that I made in my use it or lose it. What else do we have? We have a little piece of a book page and a Tim Holtz piece of ephemera. So that is tucked in there. Let me see if I can get it in without too much trouble. Yes, and that bag is just clipped in with a paper clip, and that I have put some crinkly tea-dyed fabric on. Let's see, here we have another one of the small book pages, and here is another one of the flips. Once again, glued down sorry silk that I have sewn on a piece of margin bastan. I believe I am probably botching her poor name. I don't know how to pronounce it in Dutch, but I love her paintings, and this, for me, this is my childhood, because my mother loved them as well, and we had several of them all around the house, on the walls, reproductions of them. And a little tab there, and you can journal on the back as well. So that is a pretty addition. And here's another peekaboo head. And I get those by when I fussy cut birds. In a bird book there are very often birds on the other side, and sometimes they get beheaded. And I save the heads and I put them in my books, and I think that's quite fun. And down here is the rest of the decoupage with the Tim Holtz collage paper. Let me just get a sip of water here. My throat gets all dried up. So here is a pocket that I see now that I forgot to put something in. Let's see if I can. Here's a piece of vintage ephemera. It's a receipt, and I will fold that and tuck that up here, like so. And if you flip it over, here is a flip up. Here I have once again put white gesso and a little collage. The back of this page is, let me see if I can move, covered in what's it called? Pattern paper, pattern for sewing clothes. And the front here is a book page, and I have sewn a pocket on it. And inside the pocket are a few pieces of ephemera. Both are Tim Holtz. No, this is not Tim Holtz, it's something else, but tuck them in there. And a little label up here. Some tea-dyed paper. And here is a book page from a field notebook when you go bird watching. And that is just taped in. And on this side is, this is also from the original text block, the color illustrations. And this is from a book where you, if you're a bird watcher, you know what this is, because you write in the date that you have seen the bird and you check it out and so make notes. It's kind of a bird collection book, and I thought that was suitable to have here. More of the vintage ledger from the 1920s. This is from another bird book, of course, and lovely images in the center there. And more of the ledger and bird collection book. And from the original text block. Tea-dyed paper. Cute little white owl on that page from the original text block. And on this side, this is a postcard that flips up for extra hidden journaling space. And it is also a tuck spot with a tag that I made in one of my Use It or Lose It's. You could journal on the back of that one. And I have just stapled on a piece of fabric here, the same one as there, just to have something to grip onto and to show you that it flips up. More tea-dye paper. Here is another piece of decoupage that I made. Also Tim Holtz collage paper. This is from a Janet Marsh book. And it flips up. It's big pages. And I did a little bit of collaging here with some rub-ons and a duck. And inside is this pretty journaling card. Here's some vellum with a bird on. We have some ledger. And in the center here, this is from a calendar. Every month had a cross-stitch pattern and an image. So this image could be embroidered by that cross-stitch pattern. I think that's a cool calendar. I believe it was from 1983 or something. More ledger, rest of the vellum. And here is a small pocket where that Janet Marsh just flipped up. And that is a silly goose on the loose, as I kept saying when it's a Canada goose. And when I made this tag on Use It or Lose It Wednesday, I kept saying that it was a silly goose. And that I have extended with some extra page. And I believe that page came in Happy Mail a couple of years ago. More Canada goose there. And I also stapled on some leaves. These are silk leaves. And leaves was, of course, one of the prompts. Just checking my timer. Here's a little quail. Hi, Carol. A friendly quail. It's a little wink, tip of the hat to my dear friend Carol that I'm doing the challenge with. We have tea-dyed paper. And here on this side we have another pocket, and this I made in another Use It or Lose It. I love making collage paper and making them into pockets. And inside the pocket is another one of the prompts actually, because this twig here is actually a real twig that I have sewn on. I have hand sewn it onto the journaling card. And twig or a branch or a stick was something we had to include. And I thought this was the last thing I did because I found it really difficult to get in, but this I am quite happy with. This is from the original text block, the color plates and tea-dyed paper. Here is a 1978 bird book. Love the colors on this one. Ledger, and in the center here we have Janet Marsh again. Lovely image with a bird nest and some eggs. We are getting close to the end of the book. tea dye paper. And what's here? Another illustration from the original text block. And here is another one of the prompts, because this is I used my die cutting machine, my big shot, to make this pocket, and I have put gilding wax all around it. It barely shows, but I have did that. And inside it is a, let's see if I can get it out. This is a playing card that I have covered with collage paper. First I gessoed, then I did collage paper, a little bit of Tim Holtz snippets, word snippets, and a label, not a label, a eyelet, that's it called. And I have sewn all around it, and inside it is a little charm that says lucky, and that goes in here. And the idea to that came from Camellia Crafts Design on YouTube. And we have reached the back of the book. Here is some more texture paste that I did, because I think that was really fun, and I love the white on that beige paper. And we have the back end paper, which is also from that same book of bird images. Yes, that is this chunky book. As I said, it has 216 pages and lots of flip outs. So yeah, this will be available in my Etsy shop on Saturday at 6 p.m. standard. Oh, what's it called? Greenwich Mean Time, I think. +1. Look at Stockholm if you want to know. And at 6 p.m. Stockholm time, this will be available in my Etsy shop. I hope you enjoyed this flip through. It was long, really long. I'm dry in my mouth now. Thank you all so much for watching. I love doing this, and I really appreciate all of your support. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, give me a comment down below what you think of the book, and I will talk to you guys really soon. I will be back with another flip through, probably tomorrow, because now it's too dark to film. Thanks for today. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.